All right, so what impact does race and gender potentially have on this presidential race? Stirewalt here to break it all down. Chris?
Wow. As the vice president puts her campaign together, she is also grappling, as the president, former president is, with these questions. But the former president is not the only one capable of cringe on matters of race, gender, and politics. You may have seen this clip from something which I swear to you is actually called White Women for Harris, which was an online rally featuring sports stars, celebrities, and prominent Democrats.
As white women, we need to use our privilege to make positive changes. If you find yourself talking over or speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid, correcting them, just take a beat. And instead, we can put our listening ears on.
Land of Goshen. Land of Goshen. That is a TikTok influencer, somebody who does gentle parenting. And I just will say woof to that. So do voters care about these issues? Does it matter? Do race and ethnicity and gender, do they matter to voters that much? Well, we have a good high-quality poll from the Associated Press and the National Opinion Research Center at the University of Chicago. Question to voters: is it good or bad for the country to elect a woman? 43% say good, 7% say bad, mean, and 48% say it doesn't matter. Break it down by party. What do you see? Republicans, 17% good, 15% bad, 68% doesn't matter. Democrats flip it. They say it's good for the country to elect a woman, 70 to 28 to doesn't matter. Where are independents? They're on the doesn't matter side of the question. They're on the doesn't matter side of the question. Okay, what about a person of color? What about a person of color? Is it good or bad for the country to elect a person of color? 38% say good, 2% say bad, very mean, and 58% say it doesn't matter. Break it down by party. Republicans, 16 to 78. Democrats, 61 to 38. Independents, 64% say it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Kamala Harris and Democrats don't need to talk about race and gender because the people who care about those things are already on board. They're already voting for them. They're doing that. You see, as you can see by the percentages of Democratic support on these matters, she is better off letting admirers in the media and most, especially Donald Trump and his surrogates, take these issues on. He can do more on those questions than any Democrat ever could. I would just say, in conclusion, Barack Obama, compare Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
Barack Obama was super cool about this. He didn't lean in. He enjoyed the bask of history making. He enjoyed the bask of being the first African-American president, all of that stuff. But he didn't make it about that himself. Compare that to Hillary Clinton. You remember what Hillary Clinton's campaign slogan was?
I'm with her.
I'm with her. I mean, come on. It's about her. It's too on the nose. Be cool about it. Okay. Let Donald Trump continue to screw it up. Don't lean in on this thing. Let the media do it. Let Trump do it.
You know, speaking of, letting the media do it, letting Donald Trump do it, there was actually a journalist at the rally in PA just tweeted a picture of this. There is on the projector board there is a screenshot of a Business Insider article saying Kamala Harris has been elected the first Indian American senator from California. Which is true, but seems to be leaning into the comment he made earlier today about her turning black, which she obviously has always been.
I gotta play my woman of color card here.
Do it.
So Chris doesn't need to talk about it.
I can't play mine, so go ahead.
When you are a person of color, you are very conscious of your culture and your heritage and all of the impact that has on how people perceive you from the moment you walk in the door. So, while we've been talking about the National Association of Black Journalists, comments today, I didn't get to watch them live, but let me tell you, my phone was blowing up with people's reactions to what they were hearing. I mean, all this is just to say in a very long-winded fashion that I totally agree with Chris that we should just let him hang himself.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.